You tuned into the Grassroots Gardening Podcast, which is a gardening entertainment show inside the UK where we talk about how it is to run and operate a gardening business. Sometimes we have guests, sometimes it's just us. Either way, we hope to keep you company while you're on your grassroots journey. All right, hello and welcome back to another episode. So we've got a fantastic episode for you today. We've got Mark from Lawn Stripes and Hedges. You may well have seen him on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, all sorts of socials. He's absolutely everywhere at the moment. He has 700,000 followers across all platforms, and he's here today to talk to us about his grassroots story, and I guess two stories: his story as a landscape and business owner, and also a social media business owner, as he is now, because that's becoming a massive part of his life and his business. So welcome, Mark. Thanks for joining us.
No worries. Thanks for inviting me on.
You're quite all right. So where did it start with the business, really? So if you could just tell us a little bit about you and how you kind of started in landscape and maintenance, and then I guess a little bit about your current business.
Yeah. So when I left school, I'm from like a bit of a kind of a rough area in Manchester. Salford, and when we was growing up we was just little scallywags, and we was running across a farmer's field and we damaged some of his stuff, and as a kind of a punishment the police took us to the farmer and we had to kind of just work on the farm for 2 weeks for pretty much kind of for free. We was only like 14 or something, and when we was going there every day working in the school holidays, there was a van, like a tipper, coming in with people on the back of it, like young lads laying turf.
Right.
And I said to the farmer when he come to our 2 weeks, I said, "Can I stay on and help them lads?" He went, he says, "How old are you?" I said, 14. He said, "When you've got your national insurance number, come and give us a shout." So he come the next day, weirdly enough. So I went straight back to the farm, and it was Lane's Landscapes in Salford, and I worked with them for like 3 years, just like kind of doing my apprenticeship, getting everything done. And then I was out in Manchester one night with my mate, and he was, buying bottles of vodka, champagne. I was like, "Mate, why have you got so much money?" He was like, "I work in sales, mate." I was like, "I need to change my job." So I come out of landscaping, went into sales, and I did that for most of kind of, I'd say 10 years or so. But then I'd always done bits of kind of landscaping in the meantime, just for like friends, family. And then I worked for, like, fast forward quite a long time. I moved to Macclesfield, and I was working for Superbike Factory. Worked there for 5 years. I loved my job, earned a lot of money through sales. And then I got a price on my garden because I thought my mate once said to me, "If your time is worth more than a gardener, is just employ a gardener to do it." And I thought, do you know what, you kind of right, because I was earning quite a bit of money, and then my garden's 150 square meters, and they wanted the company. Well, I had about 3 or 4 companies come out. Everyone kept letting me down, changing times. I'll be here on Thursday, never turned up. And then one guy came out and he said, like, it's going to be 8 grand for basically ripping the garden out, leveling it, turfing it. Now, I know prices have kind of increased and stuff now, but I managed to do it all for like, say, 700 quid myself. Yeah. And it got me kind of back into it. This was like 4 years ago. And then my missus said, "Why don't you," I think one of her friends said, "Do you want to will you get him to do my garden?" And I went and I did that. And then I just thought, weirdly enough, I was kind of, what got me onto it is when I'd landscaped my garden, I was watching Austin Jarrett from Alec Mowers, Bertie from Pro Lawn Care from Ireland. What's he called? Bertie.
Bertie Lynn.
Yes, Bertie Lynn. So I was watching their videos on YouTube and like doing about lawn care.
Yeah.
I then went and did a course with Richard Salmon on lawn care, just for my own personal thing, just to get my lawn like perfect. So I did that, and then I was just laying in the bath one night, and I thought, like sat in the bath one night, and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to quit my job tomorrow. And I said to my missus, "I'm going to quit my job tomorrow." She went, "Yeah, whatever, shut up." And I went in and said, I'm going to start my own business, because I was watching that many videos on YouTube, motivational stuff. Because when you're in sales, it's very hard. I was the top salesman for a long period of time. And to keep myself motivated, I'd watch Denzel Washington videos on being positive and Will Smith on dreams, and watching so many different videos on how to kind of be better at what you do and be positive. And I remember watching the guy off Wolf of Wall Street. What's he called?
Oh, I can't remember his name.
It comes to me.
I can't remember his name.
I remember watching one of his podcasts, and I just thought, you know what, I'm just doing it. I'm just doing it. So I lied to my missus. I said I had a lot of money saved up in the bank. I had 60 quid. And I went in and I said to my manager, I said, I'm going to leave, mate. Now, this was a time where they were offering me a promotion to be a manager of kind of a different department. And the owner of a superbike factory at the time, Scott, I was very close to him, and he come to me and said, why are you leaving? And I said, look, I just want a bit of the pie now. I just want to go out, earn my own crust, and I want to have the best gardening company in the UK. Because everything I've done in life, I've always tried to be the best at everything. Not better than anybody else. That's not kind of what I was saying. It was more the best that I could be. I wanted someone to ring a company up, them answer the phone in a polite manner. They tell them that they're going to go and quote a garden. They turn up when they say they're going to turn up, and they do the job they say they're going to do. Now, if you could get all them three things right in your business, there's no chance you could fail. So I thought, I'm just going to do it, and I quit. And now, one thing, when you're leaving someone's company that you've been there for such a long time, you'd think they'd be a little bit kind of upset at you, a bit angry at you, because I used to kind of always get the figures in for him. And Scott said to me, how much do you owe on your credit cards? And I said, nothing. He went, don't lie to me, show me. And he owed like 900 quid or something on him. And he transferred £1,000 in my bank and said, I don't want you leaving owing money. I want you to go out and smash it now. You owe it to yourself. So then I was like, and it gave me a little bit of a surge to kind of go on and just do it. So then when I'd left, I did all them three things that I said I was going to do. The work started coming in. I never dried up with work. But what I was starting to do is kind of give work away, because I was getting that busy. I was then ringing people who I knew saying, do you want to do this landscaping job? Do you want, I was ringing my other mate who'd left at the same time saying, do you want this garden maintenance job? So then I thought, do you know what, I'm just going to take somebody on. And then
how long ago was this then? How long?
3 years ago.
3 years ago, right? Okay.
3 years ago.
Not too long then. Recent history.
No, we're in year 4 now.
Right.
And then I took somebody on, and the classic, when you first start looking for somebody, you just look for a mate.
You reach out to arm's length and grab anyone that looks like a landscape.
Exactly, yeah. And that was the first big lesson learned, should I say, because it just doesn't work. It never works. I suppose if you kind of start a business with someone, it's a little bit different. If you're both starting at the same time, you both know what the goal is. But for my vision, I'm very, very particular in how I do things and what I want from my business. So when we first started, it was all staff in uniform, all vans sign written, no smoking on site. You don't pee in a customer's garden. There was very kind of rules that you would expect from a proper company. I wanted to separate the stigma of unreliability as in our trade. So I just focused on that for about a year. Took a few people on for year 1. Did more garden maintenance and lawn care. Now, I never intended to do lawn care. That wasn't my goal, because my passions were just being outside and gardening. I didn't even want to go into landscaping. I used to tell people I'm not doing landscaping because I'd done it as my apprenticeship.
Yeah.
I'd done it for a long time. I know I did my garden and I enjoyed it. And it was only when a woman said to me, "Oh, I've been let down off my patio doing," and she said, "Can you do it?" I said, I can do patios, but it's not what I want to do. I wanted my focus to be a fully garden maintenance, eco-friendly garden maintenance company and grow it massive. But then I just went, you know what? Yeah, I'll do it for you. Did the first one, and then it went mad. Like I did the first one, said I wasn't going to do it again, and then did another one, and then it just kind of just went and went and went then.
Yeah.
But then things had moved on from when I landscaped in college. So, it used to be pretty much like if you put in flags down, you dot and dab them. I mean, it's quite swearing nowadays, that. So it was very much I needed to get up to speed in regards to like all the new regulations and everything. So bought the new regulations book, went through it, and just carried on. And then I only started putting on social media because a customer thought we blocked her drain up, and I definitely knew we didn't do it. I mean, I went and rectified it. I picked it up and I cleaned it out. And as I've got my drain rods down, a load of baby wipes come out, and I said, "I'll be honest, I don't landscape with baby wipes. It's not something I use." And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." But then I thought, you know what? Just to protect myself going forward, I'm going to record my work. And then I was just messing around one evening and I just thought, I'll put it on so customers can see my whole process. So my videos are very much the whole process of a job.
Yeah.
You'll get people putting snippets on or putting a flag in, but there isn't anyone that does like the full process of, detailed camera close-ups of them putting a flag in, then the whole job, and then kind of explaining the whole process. You can go on Facebook and you can put, how to lay a patio, on YouTube, and put how to lay a patio, and there'll be a guy in there telling you how to lay it, but there's no one that tells you to renovate a full garden. I put a video on and I didn't even think anything about it. And later on, I think it was my missus said, "That video's on 10 million. I went, "You what?" I said, "No way." But then I thought, well, maybe there's something to this. So I only just started putting them on for kind of views, really. And then it was August last year. I put a video up we did just a little garden renovation in Mac. And that did 25 million in the first weekend. And I thought, wow, there's a bit to this. And then you can then, once you hit certain numbers, you can then turn everything to monetization. So I now get paid for the videos that we put on. We now get sponsors, brands coming to us, big companies coming to us to promote stuff, or they want to just give us something and they want to just tag them in the video. So we're now into kind of year 4. Social media's took a massive positive impact in the business because we're now booked up for 12 months. We're booked up till February next year. I've got some interesting projects. I've been approached to go and be on TV. I've been approached to do to jump on someone else's program, a TV program, and me do all the landscaping for that program.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Like when I sat down with my agent the other day, because it wasn't long once we'd done 100,000 on Insta. I think TikTok we was on 200,000. We had about 300,000 followers on kind of all platforms at the time, and I was getting companies ringing me to do brand deals.
Yeah.
And he said, "What do you charge?" And I went, I don't know.
No idea.
I don't know what I'm worth. So like you just don't know because
of course you don't.
You Google how much does somebody with 100,000 followers get on thing, and it says between 5 £700. So then you go, all right, well, I charge £500 testing the waters, and they go, oh, yeah, that's fine, yeah. And it's like, I charge £600.
Next time it might be £750.
You don't know where to go. So then my missus works with like an influencer at her work. Well, she did before she come with us, but so he had an agent, and I just rang him and said, I'm kind of on the up. I'm getting all these calls to people to give me money. I don't know what to charge. Can you help me? And he was like, absolutely. And like now we get offered a brand deal pretty much every week, and it's this month we'll earn more off social media than we do off actual landscaping and garden maintenance altogether.
That's crazy. So just dialing it back a little bit. So do you still do garden maintenance as well as the landscape?
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen too much of that.
Yeah, so that's just because of the time of year, but a lot of our videos that we did for maintenance went viral last year, but I've split the businesses up into completely 3 different departments now. Yeah. So my missus runs all of the social media inboxing. She runs all of the garden maintenance, all the quotations, and all the payments and banking. So she deals with that, and I just deal with landscaping, and I deal with the videos for social media.
Yeah. So when you were actually on a project, then how it must be really, really difficult to film, because you do film everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I've tried to film projects before, and completely amateur, and the phone rings, and then I knock the camera over, and something doesn't look particularly glamorous, and it really it's really hard.
Yeah,
really hard.
It's not easy, but I have ADHD. I wouldn't say suffer with ADHD, because I actually think it's a kind of positive. But I've had ADHD all my life, and I'm constantly, like I'm talking to you now, I'm already thinking about what I'm videoing tomorrow. Yeah. Like, you're constantly thinking about different stuff. But then what's also kind of annoying from my missus' point of view is she'll come and talk to me, and she'll be talking to me, and I'll be looking at her, and it just won't be registered because I'll be thinking about a sound in my head about a TikTok that I want to do tomorrow, or an Instagram that I've heard two days ago, and I think that video will go with that sound. So it is difficult, but I enjoy it. It is enjoyable when you put a video on and you think, oh, I love this, and you get loads of positive comments. The negative stuff, obviously, when it first come around, it killed me, man. I remember saying I actually rang Scott not last year, year before, because I was having a difficult time. I've got 5 vans now. At the time, I had 2 vans. They were both off the road. I had employees that kept ringing in sick. That it was raining, and I thought, do you know what? I just cannot be bothered about this. I'm just going to quit. And he said the best thing that anyone's ever said to me in my life: don't quit today, quit tomorrow. And when you wake up tomorrow, remember, you're not quitting today, you're quitting tomorrow. And then every day you woke up and you thought, do you know what? I'm just going to get through today because I'm going to quit tomorrow. And then when you do wake up the next day, you say the same thing again, because although it's tough, it never got easy for 6 months. But then now I'm like, my agent was telling me I'm number 3 in the whole world for landscaping videos on social media.
That's crazy.
Good going.
So,
that is crazy.
When you think of and when he said that, I'm like, nah, I'm not. I'm gonna have a look now. So then I went on TikTok and I searched landscaping accounts over 100k, and I was number 3, and that was just on TikTok. So and it was because we've done a deal with MKM as well, because I use MKM, and I was approached off another merchant asking me to do videos for them, and I thought, well, it's a bit wrong because I've used MKM from the start when I didn't have any followers. So I'll just ring them and ask them if they would like to do any collaborations with me. And Scott, their kind of head of marketing, he rang me back and said, yeah, we'd love to do something with you.
Yeah.
So
integrity is everything with stuff like that. You know, your audience trusts you that you're not feeding them just the latest sponsor. And I think, holding out for the right things, 100%.
Yeah, it's good. And that's why I do a lot with Alec as well, because I'm not I'm not sponsored by Alec. I'm
Right.
not. They don't pay me for anything. So the whole reason is when I set my business up, I wanted to be eco-friendly, and I rang Alec on a Friday at like 5 o'clock, and Austin picked the phone up, and I was talking to him, and I said I want a professional cylinder mower, but that I can use in a domestic garden. But I didn't know who Austin. I knew Austin through the videos, but I didn't know it was Austin on the phone.
Yeah.
And I said, and he says, "Well, they don't. There isn't one." I said, "Well, can you not make me one?" And he was like, well, "It's not that easy." And then he said, "Well, tell you what, I've got a mower at my house, which you can have." And I said, "Yeah, I'll have it, whatever." And I went to his house, and I went, "You're not the salesman." Because his house was thick, and I was like, and my missus was like, "Mate, you can't say that." And then he was like, "No, it's fine." And then he gave me a Liberty. I think Liberties are like 1,200-1,300 quid.
Yeah.
And he gave me one for a couple of £100. It was obviously used; it's what he had. But that for me, he didn't need to do that. He did it to kind of help me. So then, when he brought the Sterling out, he rang me and said, "That mower that you wanted, I've made it." And I was like, "Would you want to test it?" I went, "Absolutely." So I tested that. I think it was about 18 months. I kind of run that through its kind of paces. And then he invited me for, when I went to drop the Sterling back off at Alec, he took me for a meal and stuff. And he said, "Look, I really want to get another Sterling in your hands." And I said, "Look, I'll buy one." So I bought one. I mean, the video that I've just done with them is on about 500,000-600,000 views, which kind of helps them, helps me with new content. So that's what
we've had Austin on this on the podcast a few months ago, and some of the stuff that Alex, considering that like the cylinder mower market is always seen as really fuddy-duddy. Yeah, Alec have done a fantastic job in bringing them to the 21st century. They're really, really good. And some of the social media stuff that they do is like very, very innovative. You don't see anyone else doing it, especially in that market. So yeah, I can understand where those conversations came from with you. So I'm a fan.
That's why I said. That's why I said to him when I went to a charity function with him a couple of months ago. I don't even know when it was. And he kind of worked around the table just talking to everyone, and he got to me and he was like, "I'm really kind of proud of where you're going." And he said I was a little superstar, and it kind of made me happy because it was weird because obviously I was watching his videos 4 years ago on lawn care, and he's now telling me that I'm a superstar, and I was like, "Nah, come on." So that's why I kind of, with me, I remember reaching out to and I a battery powered company, and I asked them for to see if I could trial some of the stuff, and they completely just fobbed me off, and I thought, "Oh, okay, like, don't matter, don't skin off my nose." And that same company has just messaged me asking me to do a collaboration, and it's like, are you actually joking me? Like, mental. Look at our previous messages on Insta, and it kind of makes me laugh. And the one of the companies that reached out to me, I messaged Austin and said, "Look, this company's approached me for this particular product. You don't make this product, but you could make this product, and I would rather hold out to potentially test this in the future than burn my bridge and use another company." And he's like, "No, it's nothing like that. Like, you wouldn't burn your bridges with me because we don't make that yet, and this, that, and the other." And I said, "Yeah, but I'm not like that as a person. Like, if I know that you're bringing a kite out in a year's time, and I make sure I'm not going to go and sponsor someone else's kite next week because I know what's coming in the future." And I've stuck like that with all my deals that I've kind of done. If it's not right for the business, I just don't do it, because my audience now are kind of just starting to kind of trust me in a way that I wouldn't say fans, because it's not. It's just I put my videos on for entertainment, but I'm now getting regular followers that are commenting saying, I love it. Giving us positive feedback and trusting what I'm saying, especially on Instagram. When I put a video on Instagram, people message me saying, "Where have you got this from? Where have you got that from?" And so they're asking for my advice. What one customer messaged me last night, not a customer, a follower, saying, "I've been watching your videos and I'm having my garden landscaped at the minute, and they're not doing it how you do it in your videos." And I just went, "Look, I'm not about that. Like, that's not my channel. I'm not going to flag someone's work off, because one, I get it all the time where someone will say, they don't, not many normal people say, but other landscapers will try and discredit you by saying, you've not got the right fall on that patio. One guy said, you've not got enough MOT in that. Like, I'm sorry, like, I put a 1.5 minute video on of an 8-hour day. Like, how do you know what I've done in this garden? And it's like, it just makes you laugh. So I don't even get in that. I don't try and fall in that trap of slagging anyone off. I don't, when I first started my business in this town, the amount of people that used to say to me, "Oh, he's your competition," and I said, "I'm nobody's competition, because my goal is different to all them. All the other companies. I want the best trusted company in my town, and I want to be big on social media. Like, there's now no one's even close to me in this town on social media. We've got over 90. In fact, in total, it's 150 5-star reviews on our review page things. So that's like the most out of anyone. So, and I've done that from hard work, turning up on time, doing the job we say we're going to do, and give the right price. So,
what do your team think about the social media side? Like, because you must have just turned up one day with a camera and filming stuff, and they were like, "What's going on now?"
So one of the first videos that I did was with Rocco. Now, Rocco in our town is a bit of a celebrity. He played for England. He played for United football team. He then played for Macclesfield FC, and then Mac Town. You was professional, but you had a job as well. And his dad was a very much old school. You've got to get a job. You've got to do this in case this doesn't work out. And he was one of my first employees, a proper employee. All my staff are employed, so there's no subbies or anything like that. They all get holidays and stuff like that. So I took him on, and so because he played for United and he's young and everybody knows him, because Mac's very much a town. So when Rocco was going out to jobs, they were like, "Oh, Rocco's coming," and Rocco's so they all kind of. He was like a bit of a kind of celebrity in our town. So then when he started working for me, we started doing social media. The tables kind of started to turn a little bit. So then when I go out on a night out, they go, "Oh my God, that's Rocco's boss, the TikToker." So it kind of turned a little bit now, but they do love it. Joe, who's my kind of right-hand man, my labourer, apprentice, he watches them, he likes them. But it's more when they go out on a night out, because they're young. They're all 19. So I've got a 16-year-old as well. They all kind of like it, because all the mates are like, "Oh yeah, that's sick. That, like, what a good work for you." Because social media is a young man's game, really.
It seems to be. So how do you fare with the comments now then? Because obviously the bigger you get, the more comments you get, and inevitably the percentage of negative comments gets bigger as well.
Easy.
What I found as a business, the more when you get bigger, the more people try and get from you. So like because I've grown the business to like 4 vans so we was on social media, it was on all platforms, but we wasn't viral. But because Mac's a reasonably small town, there's 55,000 people that live in Mac. When there's 4 sign written vans, I don't know if you've seen my vans, like green grass, and then they've got like lawn stripes and hedges and then grass out the back. When you see them, they stand out massively. So the first kind of recognition I got was in Tesco. The woman said, "Oh God, I see your vans everywhere." And I said, "Oh, thank you." She went, "Is it a big company?" I said, "Well, it's just my company. Like, I've just got all my lads have vans and they all do independent jobs." And she was like, "Oh, you must be proud." And then it was a little like surreal moment where I thought, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
And like it's the little things, but with me as a kind of person, even when I started the business, I always thought to survive and do good, I've always got to give back, whether it be a conversation with someone or giving something back to the community. I need to do that. So I started the East Cheshire Christmas tree collection with East Cheshire Hospice. I didn't start, I just joined it. And I started doing that year one with one vans, and then this year we had 4 vans doing it. And when people see that you're doing that, it's just nice because we do it for free. And I don't ask for my fuel back, which all the other companies do. But because I think if you're going to do it for charity, just do it for charity.
Yeah.
So it raises money for the hospice. And then we did that. And then we did the hospice put a tender out to landscape the garden.
Right.
So then I went to it, and it's a hospice full of really ill people, end-of-life people. And I thought, well, all the nurses there, it's not like someone's pulling in a Lamborghini or a Bentley, the MD. Like, they're all hard-working people. So I put the price in, but I didn't put any wages on for myself. And I just did my lads at the normal kind of rate, and I didn't make any money on materials. And I put it in, and the woman rang me back. She said, "I don't think this is right. Like, are you sure?" And I went, "Yeah," because people had put it in for say 20 grand, and then I put it in for 9 grand. So it was like, well, it's not, you're really cheap. And I said, "Yeah, because you're a hospice. I'm not going to take the mick." But then we did that, and then after we did that, we had like a month or 2 months booked in. We'd had the rest of the year booked in pretty much straight away, from people saying, "Oh, I've seen you at the hospice," or "I've seen what you've done here," or "I've seen you on the Christmas tree run." So that was the biggest thing for me, is giving back to people. And you can't give to receive. You've just got to give. You've just got to give and think, because if it's right, I'll get it back. Or in regard to like positivity, and positivity for me is my business doing well. So I never. We put it on social media this year to help the hospice, because on Facebook we've got 110,000 followers on Facebook. So I don't put it on for a big I'm helping a charity. I just always either share their post or put a post on saying it's the Christmas tree collection this year, and do it that way. So it's not. So I'm not, because I don't like it when people put stuff on social media that they're doing something for a charity, but it's just all about them. So I was very careful in how I tread around that when I put it on social media. Yeah,
the all the customers that you got booked in for like the next year or so, are they all kind of like, obviously, because I'm assuming that that's going to be content as well as for the business. Have you had to be quite careful in terms of who you?
Yeah, so it's difficult, because I've been out to customers and they've been a bit weird with me because they've seen me on social media. I went to one lady and she kind of like went a bit red in the face, and she was like, "Oh, it's weird seeing you in real life," and I feel like I was a celebrity. But then it made me feel weird, and I was like, well, because a fella was like, I watch all your videos, and the garden was tiny that I went, and I said, what's it you kind of after? And they went, they just want a little bit of this, and that. But I know they want it just because they want to see their video on social media. So it's good, because every day is kind of different in regards to that, because one thing. The last job that I did, Elaine, the porcelain job, with steps going through the garden, her neighbour come over and said, "Oh, you're that famous guy off TikTok," and Elaine found me through TikTok through her daughter. So her daughter was watching videos, and she was like, "Why don't you use this guy? He's in Mac." And she was like, "What?" So then she didn't find me on whatever she'd searched me on. It was the daughter that said, "You use this guy." So when she said, when I watch your videos, I could see that you do everything proper, that because you'd been ripped off in the past. So I said, "Look, I am transparent. When you get an estimate off me, it's all broke down. How much the soil cost, how much the cement cost, the labour cost, the porcelain, everything's broke down, everything's listed, itemised." And I thought, and again, when I set up, I thought that was important because a lot of people in our industry will say, "How much for a patio?" It's going to be £6,000. Okay, so can you tell me a breakdown? Yeah, it's going to be £2,000 materials and £3,000 labour. So they don't actually know what they're actually being charged. Yeah. So I just thought it was very, very important to be transparent with everyone. So when I went to her, I sent her the estimate because I do it there and then with the customer. So I don't go away and send it like 4 days later.
Oh, okay. So what, do you just go to the van or something then?
No. So I do it on the phone with him. Yeah. So.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. Wow. Right.
Yeah. So I have an app which I use. I ask them what it is they're after. They'll say, "I want a 30 square meters, the patio." So I have a little Mosier tool that goes around and picks off the square meterage. So measure it, it's 30 square meters. So I know I need 3 bags of grit sand, 30 bags of cement, and so I'll put it in and I'll say, "Right, that's gone through to you." So they don't need to wait, and then they'll say, as soon as they message back saying I'm happy with that, they'll say, "Look, these are the dates that we have available this year. Which one would you prefer?" That one, boom, done, in. And then don't take any payment off them until a week before. I just take the material money up front, and then they pay the labour when we're done.
So when you send it off, do you then discuss price there and then with people? Or so do you send it and then just go, "It's in your inbox, let me know if you're interested"? That type of thing.
Sometimes.
Depending on the customer.
Yeah, depends on, because I'm not always confident. So sometimes I think, what Simon Bowler, the gentleman who's on Instagram, what he said to me is, and it's really clever, because I'm on social media and 9 times out of 10 someone's contacting me because of social media. I'll say, "Which project is it you've seen?" And they'll say, "I've seen the one with the steps through the garden." Well, that was around £9,000. Is that something you're looking to spend? And if they say yay or nay, then you can go out to do an estimate. So,
you kind of pre-qualified them on the phone beforehand to make sure you're not wasting your own time.
So what I've also started to do, which we kind of spoke about a little bit on the phone the other day, is I've now started to put the prices on the full runs of the job. So because with me, I think what I charge a day, for me and the lads, it's very, very reasonable. Like when I put a video on the other day of how much a job was, it's got something like 1,000 comments on it now, and I'd say 500 of them comments are people saying, "I can't believe it's that cheap." But for me, it's not about getting. It was never about getting rich, because I don't think you can. Well, you could probably get rich being a landscaper, but obviously as you go at the bigger jobs. But it was more about doing something I actually enjoy, something that I can work Monday to Friday and spend the weekend with my family. And my dogs, one of them's here.
We've seen it coming in and out of frame a few times.
With my dogs and just kind of enjoying my life. And because I'd worked for places, if anyone's listening to this, or if you have ever worked in sales, you have to work 50, 60, 70 hours a week, coming on your days off. Everyone around you is miserable because they're not in the target, and you are. So it's a constant stress being sales. So when I'd set my business up, I was like, I want my employees to think this is the best job that they've ever had. And whether that be treating them or taking them out to the pub or just making them feel like they're actually wanted. And my staff retention's amazing. Like Rocco's been with me nearly 2 years. Joe's over a year. Lucas has been I've just took Lucas on. he's been with me 3-4 months. But they turn up every day. They never. If they're late, it's because of traffic. They've all got their own vans. They're all looked after. They don't pay for fuel. Obviously, I've got a business card, so I put everything through that. They all get treated. So they're all. When I want them, it's a classic indicator of if we're doing a job and I know we need to finish this today. I don't even ask them to stay late. We just do it. Like they all do it. And what is, because we have like a group chat. We have 2 group chats, one without my missus and one with my missus. She's listening to this, blank that bit out. But because like the lads will talk throughout the day in it, and they'll say, we need to get this cleaned down. And Rocco will be on the maintenance for, say, Lucas, and then me, Jared, and Joe will be on a job. And all them 2 will turn up to help us clean down.
Yeah.
At like 6 o'clock. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And they meant to finish at like 5. So they'll turn up. They've been late, but yet they'll come and help me. So without even asking them sometimes. Like sometimes I'll say, do you mind just helping us clean down? And then they'll just come. And they've never once said, oh, it's a bit late, or, they just... But then flip days like Christmas, we had... As a company, we had like 3. I think I had about 6 weeks off at Christmas, but my team had like 3 weeks off, all paid, and like we didn't even discuss it. But my missus is like, she is the backbone to my body. Like I'll try and let him get away with everything, and I'll go out on a night out and I'll buy him all drinks, and she's like, no, this has got to stop. You've got to rein it in, and I'm like, it's fine. I'm famous on TikTok now. But she
shots on me.
Yeah. She doesn't like it. She goes mad at me. But like, I just think it's important to just look after the people around you, because when if you're in that, if you manage to get to that big castle at the end of your dreams, it'd be lonely if you was in it on your own. So I'd like to kind of try and take a few people with me as I go.
I think there's a massive fear from a lot of people in the industry about doing things legitimately with employees, which is why there's so many subcontractors and so many people that are self-employed but they're not self-employed. And we've spoken at length quite a few times just about how legitimacy just creates such a better environment for everybody. I have 2 employees fully on the books, 100% pensions, holiday pay, sick pay, all the usual stuff, and I haven't regretted it once.
No.
I would 100% do it again. I would advocate anybody does it, as long as you're business ready for it. I think if you've got the business there, you just have to just bite the bullet and do it if you want to. I 100% agree. It's nice to hear you say that, to be honest, because I didn't know how you'd kind of scaled up quite so quickly. I wondered if you'd just kind of reached out to local companies to kind of like help and support and stuff. Because
I used to do that. What I was saying earlier on, because I keep going off on different tangents. That's my ADHD.
It's alright. It's a podcast. You're allowed to do that. It's fine.
It's when I was first having issues, Scott, my friend who I used to work for, he become kind of my kind of guardian angel in like a bit like my own Dragon's Den type of thing, because he had grown a business from literally nothing to being a multi-million-pound bike dealership. It's now, I think, the biggest used dealership in the world. And when I'd left, he was always there for me. He rang me and I'd be like saying, how are you getting on? And I don't know if it was him checking to see if I was coming back to work or not. But he'd always ring me and say, how are you getting on? And he'd kind of give me advice. And like, I'd message him saying, can I bend your ear for 5 minutes? And he'd always give me advice. And he's a very, like, I've just bought a brand new Transit Custom. And I said to him, should I buy this van or not? And he went, let me look at your statistics and your books and your P&L, and then I'll make a decision. So he's that type of person. So he won't just say, oh yeah, get a van, mate. It's going to be £700 a month. Yeah, get a van. He'll say, well, what's your P&L? How much is that van going to earn you back? How much more beneficial is that van going to be to a used van? So he's that type of mate. And the amount of times I'd rang him, about subbies when I first started taking people on, and just they'd give me an invoice and I'd pay it. And he was like, you've got to shake that off. You've got for you to grow, because my goal at the start of the business was I want to grow it to 10 vans, have 10 active lawn garden maintenance, 5. So 5 garden maintenance, 5 lawn care vans, build it up to 5 years, sell it. That was, and then I wanted to just go to somewhere like Costa Rica or somewhere and just help animals and just live in like a jungle, helping wild, like a zoo type, not a zoo, but like a, what do they call
like
it?
A ranger type thing.
Yeah, something where you just like, because I love me. That's how me and Memphis got together, through the love of David Attenborough. So I want to just, not to the point where I can't do it. So I wanted to get to 40 and then sell everything I've got, and then move abroad and just like live in the jungle and help animals. That was my kind of dream. And it changes, as you probably know, like doing your podcast now. Like you get curveballs from kind of all over the place. And Austin was telling me at function things, he reckons this is a stepping stone for something else. He said, because of how you've grown your social media, he said there's companies out there that have a team of 20 people that just don't do what you're doing. He said, so he thinks that a big company is going to come in and just say, I want you, don't care what it's going to cost, you come in. So
because it's a scary new world, and businesses don't know how to handle it, and they spend a fortune on getting marketing companies for social media who equally have had some successes, some not successes. They've got qualifications in it, but ultimately they're gambling.
Yeah, exactly.
Big time gambling. And a landscaping company like yourself is overtaking on views like massive companies. You know, like a huge London-based company, like I don't know, like Gillette might put a shaving advert out, and yours is beating it.
Yeah.
And you just put a staircase in.
I know,
it's bonkers. It really is bonkers.
That's why
they've got to pay for it.
A company reached out, because I fell down the trap when I first started doing Facebook ads. When I first kind of started, I was doing some, and then I very quickly learned that sharing it to the local community thing.
Yeah, the groups. Yeah,
I got more reach. That's what drove me on the social media, is understanding your analytics. So if I was paying for a post and it was getting 10,000 people, but then I'd share it on the local pages for free and I'd get 30,000 people, that means I've got 20,000 more eyeballs for free. So then why pay for something that I'm getting? So then that's what drove me into understanding the algorithm and understanding, because some people look at my social media and they think, oh, he's lucky. He's got them numbers. I'm telling you now, my missus will tell you, there ain't no luck about it. I am on my phone 24/7, watching videos, watching Mr. Beast, and he did a video on how to grow on YouTube, and I'm watching all these famous people that are making millions and thinking, how can I put that into my kind of demographic, into my what's it called, like niche, and how can I change it? How can I make my videos more interesting? And is it worth employing a full team to film me? That's kind of where we're at now, because if for my goal has changed now. So I want to be the first landscaper to provide free work for customers, completely free. So I come to you, I don't know how the process is going to work in regard how I'm going to get the clients. I'm doing my first one in June, where a customer had a patio done last year, and it's horrendous. Like, it's so bad. So she asked me to come and put some edging in, because a patio was falling. And when I looked underneath it, it was just on timber. It wasn't on any it was no retainer. It was wedged timber in and just put mix on it. And I just went, oh, it's going to have to need relaying. So many cross joints in the pattern. There were so many dips everywhere. You could see bits of mold on the patio because the fall, it had no correct fall. So it was raining, it was pooling, then it was mold was gangrene. The mold was coming in, and I thought it's going to have to be ripped out. And I just thought, I've got some followers now. If I do a video asking people to like and share that video, it would gain enough money to then pay for it.
Yeah.
Put it on, and within a week, it'd gain the money to do the job for free. So then MKM said they'd give us the materials for it. So I went and told her, look, we're going to do it, lift it all up, but we're going to do it for free for you. And she was like, I can't believe it. So then that made me feel like super good. And I thought, you know what? Imagine if I could just send my drone up in the air, find the rubbish garden, crappiest garden that I can find, and just knock on and just say, do you mind if I landscape your garden for you?
Yeah.
Like,
there's a few guys in America that do it with like overgrown lawns.
Yes.
But I've never seen it with landscaping.
I spoke to him. He told me, he just said, just do what I'm doing, where you just try and do as free.
Who is it you've spoken to? Sorry.
The mowing guy in America.
SB Mowing.
Yeah, SB Mowing. Yeah. I spoke to him.
I think he does pressure washing as well, doesn't he? I think.
Yeah, he does.
But I've never seen it with like hard landscaping, so that would be.
Yeah. So it'd be different, but then like MKM are keen to jump on it and help it as much as they can, and if with the ad revenue on like YouTube, I've got a meeting with YouTube tomorrow to discuss some things with them. But I'm a YouTube partner now, and I'm part of the YouTube partner program. So I've got a meeting with them tomorrow, and I'm going to tell them like what my goal is. Because you get the gardening SOS on TV where someone's sick or dying, and they'll go and do the garden, but there's nobody that does it for just hard-working people. Because the average land job to landscape a garden is roughly about 10 grand average. If you want something a bit decent, if you've got a big garden, it's going to be 15, 20. Not many people have just got that lying around with everything going up. So it'd be so nice just to do it all for free. Like whether it's possible or not, I'll just keep going. And even if I can do 2 or 3 a year where you can give back a little bit and the social media pays for itself, it's worth it.
I think if the followers have a very easy way of making it simple for them, but they feel like they're helping, with a like, with a share, whatever it needs to do to make it get promoted, then I think if you feel like they're helping, but they're not really doing a great deal of effort.
It's all about engagement. So because my engagement's quite high, my agent has a lot of comedians and celebrities on his roster. I'm his only kind of landscaper. And when I send my figures to him, he's like, mate, your figures are incredible. Like your engagement is like next level. Like on my Instagram, it peters around between 8 and 10, but then my engagement is like 85% of my content. So when I've got brands reaching out to promote something, if it's right for the company, like 85% of the people that follow me engage with my content. So it means that even if they sell 50% or 20%, it's 20% of 1 million, 10 million people. So 22 million sales from something potentially. So that's where it's a bit different with us as a landscaper and gardeners, because everyone can go out and pick a spade up and try and garden, but it's tough. So like it's much easier just to kind of get somebody in to kind of do it.
And there's such an like garden renovations or projects, the before and after element of them is better than anything else in a domestic home. Like before and after in a garden it's a big space, it's bright, it's colourful, it's as great as kitchens are, and like renovations, it's limited and it's usually a little bit darker, but it's the before and after element I think grabs people even that aren't that interested in the space, which is why I think a lot of this stuff goes pretty mental. You do like project breakdowns, don't you? Like day 1, day 2, day 3. But you also do it as like part of like a full session, so you'll do like the whole project. I don't know what you call
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You've done some pretty long TikToks. How do they go? Because like
Really
TikTok's an
good.
instant thing, isn't it? Like interested, not interested, interested, and like
Yeah.
some of them are like a minute or so, or maybe even
More,
more.
yeah.
Do you get a decent retention on
Yeah,
those?
it's really weird. So I don't get them anymore, but I used to get breakdowns off TikTok in regards to where you are in the world for your content.
Yeah.
And for 3 months, I was 100% of videos over 1 minute. So I
Right.
had
Wow.
100% of the market for 3 months solid. They
Yeah.
don't send me anymore, but they'd say, they used to send you a load of updates, but I don't know if they've changed it or not. But I don't really get updates anymore. But I used to at my videos over a minute on TikTok. I had the #1 slot. So if you get your phone now and type landscaping in TikTok and go on the videos, my video's the first one on TikTok. And
I guess if you've spent a minute, you're going to invest the extra 30 seconds to see how it turns out, aren't you?
yeah,
It's
well,
we found that with some of the retention numbers on the podcast, that if it's like a build episode,
yeah,
then you're not going to turn off after 45 minutes of a 50-minute podcast, because the bit you want might be the last 5 minutes.
yeah.
And I guess it's once you've got that interest,
It's
you
understanding
go right through it.
Yeah, it's understanding your demographic and understanding what they want to watch. Because the way I do my videos now is every couple of seconds there's a camera angle change, there's a focus change. It's
I've
keeping
noticed
you
that.
engaged. And what I did that because because I have ADHD. If I'm watching something and it's boring, I'm gonna swipe. So I'll watch my video as if I was just a viewer, and I'll watch it like 3 or 4 times. My missus will go, "Mark, will you stop it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, that frame's not right. It's not changing right." So I'm very kind of anal about it and want it to get it so it keeps people engaged. The reason I started the part videos is because you have to post every single day. Some platforms
Demands
you
a
have
TikTok.
Instagram one you're posting 3 times a day, a reel 3 times a day, stories. There's so many like things you have to keep up with on your platforms to continue to grow. So the important thing is you can post a video and it'll go viral and you'll get 10 million views on it. And then you might not post for 3 days and then you'll think, oh, that's all right, it's done 20K. And then you'll start getting 1Ks and 2Ks. It's because I've built, like now, I'll give people as much information as they want because I know where my spot is within social media. So, like for just landscaping, but I know I'm #3 in regards to like the biggest accounts out there. So the only way someone's going to beat me is they're going to catch me napping. I'm not going to post, or something's going to happen. I can't continue to do what I'm doing, and the algorithm falls out of favor with me and uses them because I'm trusted now by Instagram, TikTok. I kind of hate Facebook, and I'll go on to why in a minute. But YouTube is because they know I'm reliable. They know they're going to get an interesting video tomorrow, and the retention is going to be high, and it's going to keep people on their platform. So they would rather share mine than someone else's because they think, well, we've had 200 million views of him. So let's use him because he's reliable.
You're holding the currency over other people. 100%. That's interesting. So you're posting less now then, based on that. Have you upped the quality to just kind of go
on Facebook?
Less frequent.
Yeah, so
on
Facebook. So Facebook. So I have, apart from TikTok, I have roughly about the same amount of followers on each platform. Now, if you go on my Instagram and look at my comments, it's all amazing, well done, you work hard, smashed it. Same on TikTok. You'll get 90% good and 10% bad on TikTok. You'll get someone who's a super expert who've got a gift gaff as a picture or no followers and they've not even got a face on it.
User 31924.
User 3454666. So you think, do you know what, mate? I ain't even. Praggy said that to me. He's like a famous TikToker. He said to me, mate, don't let it. Why would you let someone? If someone comes with clout and then gives you comment, then do you know what? Look at it. But
Yeah.
I know when I do a job, I do it to the best of my ability. And because I put it on social media and I put everything on social media, I check it 3 times, 4 times, sometimes 5 times. One comment on it was, why are you checking? Why are you putting a level on it every 2 minutes? Well, if I didn't, someone would say you've not put a level on that. So you have to kind of take the rough with the smooth. The reason I said I don't like Facebook is probably 80% negative and 20% positive. Like I put a video on. My last video was just put a video on Friday. It's like 1.2, 1.3 million, and I don't even look at the comments because I'll look at it and think, yeah, positive, negative, positive. Why have you wrecked that garden? Why? 50% flags in there, no room for wildlife, and it's like, it's what the customer asks for. I don't go to the customer's house and say, can I landscape your garden? Oh, sorry, I've just got to ask the people of Facebook first. Just garden, what would you like? Because I'll tell you what, the show as hell won't pay for it. So
what's the most controversial thing that you get kind of challenged on? I see you get challenged on the porcelain spaces quite a lot.
Yeah,
I've seen quite a few. What would you say the most kind of thing you get challenged on the most?
I chopped a tree down.
Right.
I got absolute pounded for it. But I've got in my garden, so the customer who it's for, her daughter, she asked me to take some cuttings of it. So I put 5 in 5 separate pots, put them all with gel in, and then I've got four backup cuttings in my garden in case they didn't take. So that tree has now become nearly 10 plants. And they don't see that. They just, oh my God, you may as well, someone will put on it, you need to die. Because I chopped an apple tree down in someone's garden and now I've got to die. And that kind of, because I love animals, as I've mentioned, I'm eco-friendly. I'm not eco-friendly for shits and giggles. I'm eco-friendly because I want to do my bit to help the planet. So like me chopping a tree down, but what was funny, I'd done 10 cuttings in case load fails, and they've all grew. So I've now got 10 apple plants growing. I've got 4 in my garden, the customer's got 5, so it's 9, sorry. And I'm seeing her on a night out, and she come up to me, she said, oh, thank you so much for them cuttings, they've all took. And the only reason they had 4 in my garden is in case hers didn't grow. And she was saying, I've seen the comments like, why not do another video of you with your plants? And I said, well, it drives traffic, whether it's negative or not. But I'd say there's 100 negative comments on there. 10,000 people have liked it. And at the moment, it's on like 2.5 million views. So it's literally, you've got to just take it with a pinch of salt. I was saying to my missus, because she was having something to eat, and I said, oh, do you know what, I feel like Justin Bieber. And she said, what do you mean? And I said, because of all the hate he gets, like, because it was a stage where it was just bombarded of hate. And I thought, and then I thought, imagine the scale that he gets it on. Like, because love him or hate him, I mean, I like him as his music, but like, he gets so much hate and negativity just for being him. Like, he's not actually a bad person. Like, I know he did some things where he threw eggs at houses, but I can assure that we probably done worse than throwing eggs at houses. So like, imagine the scale. And then I think, do you know what? I am so small fry. Like, I shouldn't let it bother me at all. Like, and for people like who I follow now, like my hero is like Lewis Hamilton. Like he did the same thing. He'd come off social media completely because of the negativity. I think the bigger you get, the more people will try and throw stones at you because they don't like you seeing well. They don't like you boasting about it either. Like if you're screaming, shouting, I'm the number one, this, that, and the other, they'll think, oh, idiot.
Yeah.
You just don't like it, and that's their own insecurities because other countries aren't like that. Weirdly enough, on each platform has a different. Like on Instagram, 55% of my followings in the UK. On is it Facebook? I think it's Facebook. 45% of my audience is from America. So like the American audience are the mint. Like it's all positive. Like some of them are like, why have you not put rebar in that concrete? I'll be honest, mate. We don't get like weather like you. We don't get tornado, hurricane, storm, Daniel. Like we get the tail end of everything. Or they'll say, "Oh, you're tiling your garden. That's weird." Like because they concrete everything. It's just how it is. But they're just so nice. And when I went to Mexico for Christmas, I was talking to some guys there, and he was like, "Oh, I love your watch," and "Oh, yeah, well done. What do you do? I've got my own company." "Oh, well done, you. Well done, mate." And he was genuinely dead happy for me. I want to move to America because, like, the minute if I come out with your group of mates and they didn't know me, and it was like, and I come over and I said, "Hi guys, just to let you know, I've got 1 million followers," and they just think, "Dick." You know what I mean? They just think like they don't like people boasting. It's just the way we are as kind of.
No, I mean I think especially older Americans, they really do kind of appreciate the hustle, so to speak. I met a guy from Delaware about 6 months ago. He gave me an extra 50 quid on the project because I was doing his daughter's like rent. She was on holiday, he was babysitting it, and he gave me an extra 50 quid, and he's like, "Just invest it in your business. You're doing a great." I won't do the American accent. He's like, "You're doing a great job. It's absolutely fantastic. Just invest it. Keep going. More youngsters should be like you." And I was like, mental. That is mental. What a difference.
You start calling them weirdo.
Yeah, I know. It was bonkers. So, what advice would you give to somebody that was looking to start out on social media and build a bit of a presence?
Social media is completely different to kind of owning your business. Now, people ask me all the time on one guy messaged us on Instagram, and my missus was laughing because she deals with it. Because I honestly, on a Sunday, we could get 150 inboxes on just Instagram alone. I don't look at anything else. Because you'd be there all day, like because YouTube's a very interactive platform. We get so much comments on YouTube. It's all positive on YouTube. YouTube's great for that, but you just physically don't have time to edit. Like I jumped on the podcast with you at what 10 past 8, 20 past 8.
Yeah.
And I was editing my video up until I uploaded it like a couple of minutes before. Normally I'd upload it and then I'd spend half an hour replying to kind of messages, and you kind of just try and get us through as much as you can, but it's just it is impossible to kind of get through it. So with the social media, that's what I'm saying, sorry. Someone messaged us saying, "How are your videos doing their numbers when my videos are better?" And he had 2,000 followers. I just my comment back was just, "You do you, boo." Like, obviously not, mate. Like, it's just like people ask me for advice, whether it's on nights out or what do you do with the social media. If you want to become big on social media, you need to live, breathe, and eat social media. There isn't no way about it, because all them platforms are designed to keep you on that platform. So if you're on everyone at the minute, because of TikTok's done it to everyone. Because TikTok is doing short videos, everyone else has jumped on the bandwagon. So Instagram started doing reels, Facebook started to do reels, then YouTube are now doing YouTube shorts. They're all competing with TikTok. to get people kind of on their platforms. So for you to become a social media giant, you need to be over absolutely everything. When they do an update on a platform, you need to know what the update is and what the algorithm changes, when your demographic are going to be sat down the most. Easter Sunday, there's going to be that many men just sat there on the phone. You need to be posting 3 times a day on 3 different on all your platforms. I've got, is it 4 platforms? I don't even know how many I've got anymore. Is it TikTok, Facebook, Insta, YouTube, Twitter? 5. Is that it?
Yeah.
Have we got any more? I don't know. For them 5. So you've got to be posting on the busiest days equally, 3 times a day. All your information's got to be correct. Your captions got to be correct. You've got to be engaging. Your music's got to be right on different platforms, because you can't use any good music on Facebook. As you go through my comments, people are like, I hate this song. It's like, thank you, but I can't put anything else on it because Facebook doesn't allow me. Instagram's the same. You've got to use the trending sound from Instagram that particular day. You've got to see where the path of that song is going. So you need to find out where that song's tracking on Instagram, because if it looks like it's not going to do well, don't post it. You've got to use another song. So it's the reason I say is don't get involved in it, because it will consume your life. If you want to become massive, it's the way it's got to be, because there's people out there like me that are on literally the Matrix, plugged into all forum platforms and knowing what's going on at that particular time, and just making sure that when you're filling your stuff, you hashtags are correct. You're not using the same hashtags all the time. Your topic, because you can select topics. So when a particular platform is releasing something, an update, if you're not onto that update, like Instagram now have released a topic, which you select the 3 topics. So if you're not doing that and someone else is doing that, and it's a similar content to yours, who they're going to share is more than yours. They're going to share the one that's putting the more effort in. So my advice for someone that wants to become on it, you've just got to live, breathe and eat it, and hope that your missus stays with you at all.
I think that's all the way through self-employment, I think, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
to be perfectly honest. I think it's clear to see that there's a lot goes into it that you don't really realise. And I think it probably is quite easy when you just landscaping, just to think that you've just stuck a camera and filmed you putting some porcelain pavers down, as simple as that. And you kind of, I hope this has demonstrated to the audience that there's quite a bit more to it than just a guy with a lucky viral video.
I know, but the thing is with the viral videos, like you've got you've got to do a viral video 1 or 2 a week to survive at the top, because one viral video gets you nothing, like literally gets you nothing. Like the days where like you'd put a video on YouTube, it'd do viral, next thing you can retire. them days are massively gone. Like, and the way it's becoming now, and like the shorts and stuff, like I know I hate Facebook, but I earn more money off Facebook than I do all the other platforms. And really need to focus more on YouTube, because you do get paid really well off that.
Because TikTok's everything that goes on top of TikTok, the sponsorships and everything else, rather than the actual TikTok revenue, isn't it? I know there is revenue from TikTok, but the majority is everything else, isn't it? It's
more
the deals that come with it.
Yeah, it's the brand deals that come with it, that notice you. We've signed on with a couple of big companies that we're going to do stuff for, but it's I do it how I want to do it, like, and that's another thing I'd give to maybe influencers that listen to this is don't do something and get told what you're going to do on your platform, because I fell into that trap with my first ever deal. They'd tell me what to say, they'd do what to do, and it was like, this is an advert, like Whereas if a company are going to pay me to tell you that something is actually pretty good and it would benefit you, I'm keen for that. Yeah. But if you're going to try and I had a bracelet company, and they offered me $5,000 to do a video, and 10% of anything that was sold. And I went, we don't wear bracelets. Like, I'm a landscaper. and I said, we're not fit for you. It's because of the numbers that we were getting.
Yeah.
Right, okay, no, we'll offer you 7. But it's not about the money. Like, maybe if you offered me $1 million, I'd do it. But like, it's not about that, because no one who watches my content are going to think, oh, he's got a nice bracelet on, I'm going to buy that. But I tell you what, the amount of times where I'm using a sanding pad, and so it's like, where'd you get that sanding disc?
Yeah, it's got to be relevant, hasn't it?
Yeah.
If you broke out of a sped up video where you're doing like a time lapse on, I don't know, building a staircase, to start talking about a bracelet, people are like, shut up, video. I want to see how the project gets done.
Yeah.
It's just you've
got to find.
I don't know why you'd want to do that as a brand. I don't know why you'd want to put yourself in that.
Because
a
lot of media companies that ask. So the first thing they'll say when they're going to do a brand deal, they're going to ask you for your stats and what your overall reach is, what your interaction is. So a lot of they'll never listen to this podcast because they hate me, but they are my mates. But I used to go to the F1 with them. And they were like, "Oh, you bought your followers. You bought your followers." And I'm like, all right, mate. Like, because I never got it, and I don't understand. Like, when I went to the F1 with them the first year, and then the second year I had a nice car, nice watch, load of money in my pocket, and
bracelet.
Then bracelet, yeah. And then the next year I took. Like, whenever we went to the stands, I'd just get food, and like, didn't matter how much, because F1's my vice. It's I don't go out and drink every weekend. I don't take drugs. So like, for me, the F1 it's kind of my drug. So when I go to Silverstone, I ball out. I think, do you know what? I've worked hard. I've promoted a bracelet. I've got some money. So, but they kind of went the opposite way, and they kind of fell out with me. And then I put something on my social media today saying, on my personal account, saying, I'm so proud, like, we've just hit 700,000 followers and 200 million views. And he commented on it and said, well, if you bought another 200, you'd have the same population as Cheshire. And I went, another? Like, that's how small-minded and arrogant people are. Like, if you buy your followers, no brand would want to do a deal with you, because they can see it.
Yeah.
When you send your statistics, you'll have your total reach, you'll have your interaction, you have your followers, and they have a kind of code where they know how many people. If I was to get 10 million views, they know what my interaction should be. It should be between 6 and 10 million. If your interactions are 500, not million, 100, then they know that you bought them followers. Because when you buy a follower, it's a dead lead. It's a dead thing. Like, they don't like your content. They don't share it. They don't comment on it. It's just a bot that you bought a statistic, but it doesn't mean anything.
No.
So when you send, that's why brands, when they first contact you, they say, "Well, I've seen you on social media. I love your content. Could you send us your statistics?" First thing they ask for. So you send it to them, and then they ring you straight back and say, "We want to do something with you," because they can see. And you also get shadow banned on everything as well. So if you buy followers, you'll just get shut down on the account. So especially when you're into my level now of over 100k, if you was to go and buy 5,000 followers, you'd stop getting views. They'd just shut you down.
Do you think people do that are at that level? Do they? Interesting. I've seen like startup type channels and stuff do it quite a lot, but I don't think I've ever really been exposed to anyone that's done it at that kind of level. It kind of seems a little bit like, if you had 100,000 followers to get to 110, like, surely that's just time.
Yeah.
If you're in the game, Weird.
I know of about 3 accounts. So when I first kind of wanted to be viral or a kind of influencer, I'm not an influencer, but like when I wanted that kind of them numbers, I remember looking at the people who were at them numbers and thinking, right, this is what I need to get to. So I think, right, what's the biggest account in the UK? Look at how long they've posted, look at their videos, understanding what they've posted. And then you click on it and it'd be like 100,000 views. And then, so if you look at my account on Instagram now, it's like 173 or something. If you look at it next week, there'll be a lot more followers. It consistently goes up between 1,000, say on average 1,000 a day.
Yeah.
When you look at some other people's and they're stuck at 100, but they're still posting every day. They're still doing it every day. So I lose followers every day. Like I'll lose probably 50 to 60, but where people will delete their account or
it's just natural.
Don't want to follow me anymore. So there's a kind of graph and a matrix and all your followers throughout the day. So when you look at someone that's been on 102,000 for a year, it's because they bought the followers. So when I did a meeting with TikTok, I brought that up in a meeting. I said, like, why do I keep getting shadow banned? Why do I keep, doing this? And it's because the algorithm is constantly searching for abnormal behavior. So if you put a viral video on TikTok and it goes viral and you've not got that many followers and you get a load of followers, a week later, they'll just shut you down because they'll think, what's gone on here? Has he bought followers? Has he bots? So it'll search your account to see if you've got bots, if you've got follow you. And if
they're looking for surges and then flats.
Yes.
Right. So interesting.
So it's like but TikTok does it a different way to everyone else. So TikTok will shadow ban you before they've found the truth out. Once they found the truth, then they'll unshadow ban you. So it's a constant kind of rigmarole of like constantly like getting shadow banned all the time, and then you'll get to the point where they just think, they trust you now, and they'll let you go.
Yeah.
So I think touch wood, I'm at that stage now because every video I post will do good numbers. So it'll do between 500,000 and 1 million.
Yeah.
2 million views. I went through a stage of every week I'd do 2, maybe 3 viral videos a week. I class a viral video over 1 million. So whereas Insta now, I've kind of got Insta's trust where it's, as long as the video is good, they'll give me the numbers. Whereas if you go through some of my videos on Insta, it's like 54,000 views, and there's about 10 videos all in a row that are on 54,000 views, and it's like I'm a logical guy. Not 5, 6 videos in a row can all do the same number, and it's because you kind of get shadow banned. But as you're getting bigger and bigger, that kind of chain gets released a bit more and more. See the dog reaching me. As soon as I start touching her, she'll touch me.
So what's next? Because obviously your business is growing, your social media is growing, but you've only got so much time in the day.
Exactly. My next job is
I
want my missus to come full time, and so she does 2 days a week with us. I want her to quit her normal job and work for us full time. So that'll free me up in regard to like the garden maintenance side. We need to grow the garden maintenance side because we're fully booked with 2 separate lads. So we need to grow that. But for me, now I'm close to it. I want to be the number 1 social media landscaping account in the world. So I'm 300,000 people away. So it's probably two months away. And I've got some jobs that are coming up. Like I'm putting a swimming pool in someone's garden. Like that's going to be a big, that's going to be a big social media one. I want to be number 1 now. I want to be the biggest account. And then once I am, then I can start saying, right, okay, I can take. I want to employ a full-time editor, so I'm no longer editing, so I can kind of just step back from that a little bit. But I think I'm probably just going to give it my all for another 4 years, give it everything, grow it as big as I can, and then probably sell up, and go and play with my animals.
Take your bracelet collection to Costa Rica.
Of course, that making bracelets in Costa Rica. But it might be a case, like Austin said, where the future lies with me, and because it's no matter, and I think that's why I've kind of got to a successful position that I'm in, is if I want something, I need to understand it and I want to go for it. And it's like that for any business owner. If you want to be the best in your kind of industry, or the best that you can be, you need to give it your all. You've got to give it your all.
Yeah.
And it's tough. Don't get me wrong, as you boys will know, when you wake up and it's cold and it's raining and it's miserable and you've had a bad day the day before, getting up out of bed sometimes is really hard. But you just need to remember, don't quit today, quit tomorrow.
And I think any gardener, landscaper that survived March of this year, or the monsoon season in the Britain, has really felt that, to be honest. I think there's a lot of people out there hurting, especially if you're doing lawn care. It's been a nightmare. Absolute nightmare.
We do lawn care, but we just do it. We don't take any new customers on now. We just look after our existing portfolio.
I'm surprised you do garden maintenance, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
It's, just because of the landscaping side of it, I just kind of it just seems like a lot to take on in terms of like 3. Generally, I was just a bit surprised about it, to be honest.
Yeah, but if you make it work, it's impossible not to do it. So when I landscape a garden, and then I say, "Do you want us to look after this garden for 30 quid a month?" and they go, "Yeah, all right." So that's a new client.
I guess you're protecting your investment as well, aren't you?
And when we do the garden maintenance, we've had jobs from the landscaping to do the garden maintenance, and with the lawn care, just every single garden that we do, we can provide lawn care to. So that's eventually I'd like I don't know how, because the social media's gone crazy, I don't know how much my original dream of becoming the best gardening company in the UK, how much that's possible now. But if I could stick to that original dream, imagine a company that you think of like the AA for breaking down, you think of Lawn Stripes and Hedges for your garden, but across the UK, that provide anything to do with your garden, ring Lawn Stripes. So
I think the reason I said it was because of the volume of customers that you need at smaller transactions. It can get it's quite a lot of communication versus doing larger scale landscaping jobs, booking you out like 3-4 days a week on one job. You're dealing with one customer, or maybe 2 if you've got 2 teams out or whatever. But like if you're in lawn care, you might be doing 15 a day. Yeah. And it's just that volume of like that was why obviously I run.
Yeah, that's why
my business is exactly that. I have a lot of customers that are very small transactions. And I find the landscaping part of it a lot easier, just because of the less communication.
Yeah, that's why I ended up going to the landscaping and leaving the rest up to Tina, my missus, because last summer when Tina didn't work for me, was it the summer before? Might have been. I don't even know. I'm losing track of my mind. But there was a point last year when I was trying to film videos. My phone was ringing 50 times a day from 50 new clients ringing me from all over the Northwest. And I just couldn't cope anymore. And I was like, I need to either completely get rid of the garden maintenance, because I'm on a landscaping job. I'd say I'm on like a 20 grand job, and I'll get someone ring me saying, "Can you cut my lawn for 20 quid?"
Yeah.
And you can't be rude, because they're ringing you, they're giving you work, but it's like, and I said to my missus, "All right, please, come on, you've just got to deal with this now." So that's why I said to her now, if we charge £35 an hour, which is what, £42 including VAT, for 2 lads, the lads say cost us what, 15, 16 quid an hour. say a tenner for the van, my missus could make 25 quid or 20 quid an hour, and all she has to do is sit there and just manage the detail, the other stuff. And then all the other stuff with the landscaping, I could top a wage up with the landscaping if needs be. But if you get another van on the road and get another garden maintenance lad, you don't need me at all. You can run your own, but I'll give you that business. I don't want nothing to do with it, because it becomes that much of a headache because of all them transactions and all that interaction. Because don't forget, every customer thinks that they're the most important customer. So and
rightly so as well.
Yeah, of course, because it's their garden. But you've got to manage that, because you'll have 150 in your portfolio maybe, and you've got to treat them all the same. But you can't go above and beyond for one, because you've got 150 that you have to treat equally, and they're all paying the same money. So that's why, for me, like you say, the landscaping is a much easier outfit, because it's less hassle. It's less. You turn up. This is how much we charge. This is what job we're going to do, and you don't have to. You can do 40 of them a year, whereas 150 customers a week or whatever it is, it becomes hard work for not a lot of reward. So that's why I've said to Tina, quit your job and get another van on the road, because we can do it. We're actually a brand now. Like, we've got that many vans around. We've got that much clout on social media. We could take another van. I mean, I've got a new van sat there that someone could go in. We've got all spare tools. We could get it up and running and just put a little bit of effort onto garden maintenance. So that's what you say. That's probably my next goal, of setting her up with.
Interesting.
It'll still be part of my business, but her just deal with it, and just let me just deal with the social media and landscaping.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I've really enjoyed it. It's been a really good insight into. I've learnt loads. Go away and film a viral video. No, that was awesome. Thank you so much for coming on.
No, it probably won't make sense to people that have listened all the way through, because I go off on so many different tangents.
Been good. You're literally allowed to. We specialize in. We do a podcast that for people that are literally sorting out garden beds, driving zero turns, and there's not a lot of industry entertainment, and we might be the only people that they speak to in the industry all day. So, exactly. You can waffle on this; it's absolutely fine. Right. Thanks, guys. See you in the next one.
Later.
Thank you for tuning into today's episode. If you would like to share your grassroots story, then please be sure to email us at thegrassrootspodcast@gmail.com, and we'll be sure to get back to you and hopefully get you a scheduled slot. We'd love to hear your story. Alternatively, if you've enjoyed today's show, then we really would appreciate a well-worded 5-star review on whichever platform you've tuned in from. Thank you very much. Catch you in the next one.